All right, we're live. Welcome to another review of Dark Side of the Ring, Cocaine and Cowboy Boots, the Herb Abrams story. And in case you don't know who Herb Abrams was, he was a wrestling promoter. He owned the UWF, the Universal Wrestling Federation, and they did a tremendous telling of his story.
Yeah, think about the UWF. This is not to be confused with Bill Watts's UWF, Universal Wrestling Federation. It's the same. It's the same initials, the same name, but this is completely different.
Yeah. So apparently,
Bill,
Bill Watts didn't trademark that.
no, Bill Watts did not trademark it. And by the way, I did go back and watch the Wrestling with Regret
Yeah.
video about the UWF.
Yeah. And Brian Zane did a really good review, and it's a good, piece, additional piece on with the documentary that aired.
Yes, it
It's a good
is.
companion piece. A good companion piece.
Yeah. And I also watched. It was hockey. It was a short clip of a shoot interview with the Hockey Talk man. He talked about how certain individuals did get paid out
Mm-hmm.
of one account. Apparently, Herb Abrams had two accounts, two checking accounts.
Mm-hmm.
One that was legitimate and had all the money in it. The other didn't have any money in it.
Yeah, they actually brought that up in the documentary as well. They said that he had like over $1 million in one account and hardly anything in the other.
Uh
and
huh.
and this guy Herb Abrams is like this, this unknown person who just went up to people, random wrestlers when they were in town, and asked, "Hey, I'm starting up this company. I'd like for you to be involved." And that's basically how he got started. Is this this random guy just walking up to people, and apparently his father owned like a whole bunch of department stores in New York.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he was this rich guy, from his father.
Yeah, he was. He had a good bit of money. Of course, he blew it all on cocaine.
Hmm. And hookers.
Oh yeah, that too. Hookers. Yeah.
Oh man, but Herb Abrams seems like a really decent guy. I mean, minus the cocaine addiction and all that, and he seemed like a pretty nice, decent guy from what they told and all the stories they told about him.
Yeah, but the only thing is, whenever his wrestlers had, whenever he would write checks out to his wrestlers, they would bounce.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not like he didn't have the money to cover it, which is odd.
Yeah, because I know that Honky Tonk Man talked about in the short clip that I watched of him of a shoot interview. It was done with the Honky Tonk Man. He said that yeah, he briefly worked for Herb Abrams, and yeah, the checks bounced.
Yeah, like a Paulie Dangerously.
Well, yeah, sort of like that.
Sort of like a so yeah, so he founded the UWF, the Universal Wrestling Federation, in 1990. And what surprised me the most is that he actually met with Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
He met with Vince McMahon, and basically they said that in the meeting he told Vince that you cover the East Coast and I cover the West Coast. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall on that meeting. That would have been just tremendous to
yeah.
see Herb Abrams and Vince McMahon. You know, the thought process of that is like, how in the hell did he get to manage to get a meeting with Vince McMahon, the Vince McMahon?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to see his reactions. Like, damn, pal, who the hell are you? Get the hell out of my office. Oh man,
That's basically what Vince told him.
probably. Yeah, I would not be surprised. And so that pissed off Herb Abrams to, continue on with the UWF and to compete with WWF
And with WCW,
and
because
WCW, yeah.
yeah,
Because at the time, I think Nitro. I don't think Nitro was on at the time. I think it was still.
no, Nitro didn't start till 1995.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 So WCW was still probably like WCW Saturday Night,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had WWF, and I think Raw may have started because that started in '93.
Yeah, Raw started in '93.
Okay, so UWF was founded in 1990, so he sort of compete with Raw at the time in the beginning stages in '93.
Mm-hmm.
So I think primetime wrestling was still, or was it main event
I think
in
it was
1990?
it was prime time wrestling with Gorilla
The
Monsoon and Bobby
Monsoon
the Brain
and
Heenan.
Robbie Heenan, yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great. Yeah, so he sort of compete with WCW and WWF, and you know he may have had a an actual wrestling organization had he invested the time, the money, and the management style skills in it. If he had he did all that, he might have still been around, maybe, or possibly Vince might have bought him out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
the thing is, Herb Abrams, he had some talents. He had a few wrestlers
yeah,
there. He had Steve Dr. Death Williams. He had B. Brian Blair. He had Greg Valentine came in.
he
He
had
had
Andre the Giant show up.
yeah, like for one or two appearances. And Andre went back
Mm-hmm.
to WWF. He had Cactus Jack. Mick Foley. He had Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we saw Mick Foley on the special.
Oh yeah, and he was just as nice to Herb Abrams as he could be.
He
Yeah, I
was.
think he respected him because I think he probably helped him get started up a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in the UWF.
Now,
But yeah,
Cactus had wrestled in WCW
yeah.
previous to this.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't been to the WWF yet. He'd been to WCW.
No.
Actually, I take that back. Cactus did
ECW.
wrestle. Cactus did wrestle in the WWF for one match. He and a guy, he had a tag team partner. He went by Jack Foley.
Oh yeah,
At the
that's
time.
right.
He teamed up with a guy against the British Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 1986.
Oh yeah, that was way back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember Jack Foley,
yeah.
and then he went on to WCW and Cactus Jack.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Cactus he sort of believed in the possibility of having that third alternative organization.
Yeah.
I think he believed in it as much as Herb Abrams did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, he had all good talent. Was I can't remember. Did they mention anything about Hogan and him being involved?
No,
Okay.
there wasn't anything about Hogan. There were a couple of guys I had never heard of, but they wrestled in that organization. A guy named Wild Thing Steve Ray and a guy named Sonny Beach,
Yeah.
whose real name is Rick Allen.
Mhm.
I mean, some of these guys are some of the top talents there, in the UWF. And the main title, the main championship belt was the UWF television title.
Yeah, and I love the story the guy told about the UWF logo on each side, and then has the FU facing the front. So as a big
Uh-huh.
FU to Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was awesome. I love that.
Mhm. Mhm. Also, they had Captain Lou Albano. He was there too.
Yeah, and Bruno Sammartino did commentary.
Bruno Sammartino. That's right. Yeah, he
And
was a
then
commentator.
I'm reading some of the names. Bob Orton Jr.,
Cowboy
Paul
Bob Orton.
Orndorff,
Yeah, Paul Orndorff, Mr.
Paul
Wonderful.
Orndorff, Ivan Koloff, Don Morag. I mean, he has some really good talent.
He did.
It's a shame that he, spent all the money for cocaine and hookers when, he had a huge potential on his hands.
Mm-hmm. It is a shame. The thing is, they had a TV deal with the now defunct Sports Channel.
Mhm.
And they had the Fury Hour, they called it. That was their 1 hour a week program.
Mhm.
And then they had a pay-per-view. The first pay-per-view for UWF was Beach Brawl from October of '91.
Yeah.
And it was a facility. The facility could hold about probably 17,000.
Yeah.
And only about 500 showed up.
Yeah, and I think that was his downfall. I think he should have done smaller venues. You cannot, have a startup company like this and expect to sell out, 50,000, person arenas.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have had some more potential if he went the ECW route and do like a smaller venue like that with 500 people in there and build on from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It was just he had well, I mean, nobody could say that Herb Abrams didn't have big plans. He did have big
Yeah,
plans. Nobody could say he didn't have big plans.
yeah.
He had ambitions. We'll just put it that way. He had a lot of ambition.
Mhm. I mean, you hear, Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff, Vince McMahon. You know those names. I think if had he been around long enough, Herb Abrams would have been another name that you would have heard. Because he was that crazy, he was that insane, he had all these great potential ideas, but the drugs got the best of him. And they actually showed a video of the last known footage of Herb Abrams, and I think it was like right after he came out of rehab or where he got clean. And he
Mm-hmm.
was he looked like a really nice freaking guy. You could like sit down and have a beer with.
Yeah, he did. He was when he was straight.
Mhm.
He could conquer the world if when he was straight.
Yeah.
But I mean, he couldn't control his demons, unfortunately.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's like that for almost every wrestler or promoter or manager or whatever story is that the demons, the drug addiction, the steroids, the cocaine, the pills, all that is what hinders them quite significantly.
Yeah, exactly. He just if he'd been able to control his demons,
Mhm.
and if he'd been able to stay on the straight and narrow, he might have. Who knows? He might have been able to compete more readily with Vince McMahon there. And one at that time, Jim
Oh, yeah.
Herd.
Yeah, absolutely. You might have heard, the big three: ECW, WCW, WF. Again, he could have been the big four: UWF.
Yeah, and see, they had the TV deal, and that fell through.
Oh yeah.
They had something called they had cookies. They had oatmeal cookies.
I mean, yeah, the Herbie cookie.
The Herbie cookie.
Oh yeah, freaking cookies. That's unheard of.
Well, WWF. Well, see,
Had
WWF
the
had
ice
the
cream
ice cream
bars.
bars. Yeah, WWF had the ice cream bars.
The good humor ice cream bars, and then the cookies. But that's I'm like Vince probably would never thought of that.
No.
Hey pal, let's get some cookies and put Cena's face on it, pal. the Mac cookie, for Vince McMahon.
The Mac cookie.
Man, the Vince impersonation is tough on your throat. Jeez. I gotta say, I'm no Pritchard or corny when it comes to an impersonation for Vince. Oh man. Did
But
did Corny ever talk about Herb Abrams? Because I
no,
might have missed it. I made on his podcast, his drive through.
no, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything about. I've been keeping an eye on the YouTube.
Yeah.
But see, let's see. Then they had another live televised event. It was called the Blackjack Brawl,
Mm-hmm.
and it was to determine a new champion.
Yeah.
And Sid Vicious was involved with this. They'd gotten Sid Vicious to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Now this was after the infamous incident where Sid and Arn Anderson got involved, but we got a little scissor happy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Sid had just come in from WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he was also in the WWF briefly.
Yeah.
Before that. Or was this before he went to WWF? I'm not sure.
Oh, let's see here.
Or went back to WWF, I mean. Because he had been in WWF in the early 90s.
Okay, so he was in WCW from '89 to '91.
Yeah.
He was part of the Four Horsemen. Then he
Yep.
went to the WWF in '91 through '92.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to WCW '93. So let me see when that pay-per-view was. The Blackjack Brawl was in '94.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have left WCW in '93.
He was fired.
Then,
He was fired
yeah.
because of
Okay.
because of the scissors incident.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So he stabbed Arn Anderson
Mm-hmm.
20 times, and
Yep.
then he was stabbed 4 times himself.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So he was fired, and then He went. He did a thing in '94 with the UWF, and then he went back to WWF in '95.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew he went back to WWF, but I couldn't remember when.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was '95.
But Sid was part of this tournament, and the finals were it was him against Dr. Death Steve Williams, and I believe Dr. Death won it.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me see.
But one thing that Herb Abrams was known for, and he sort of was the trendsetter
Mm-hmm.
for on-screen personalities getting involved.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he did this before Bischoff and before McMahon.
Oh yeah, because McMahon did that in '96, right after the Survivor Series, and then
97.
97, yeah, 97, and Bischoff did it what 96, 97 when he was with the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was the original, basically Vince McMahon. He was the commentator turn owner of the company.
Yeah. And then
go ahead.
And he had a feud with a guy called the Colonel, and they had the Colonel on the show.
Yeah.
And
was that the really big dude, the Colonel?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he told the story of him going into the hotel, and the hookers came, and they had the party right there in front of him.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who played the Colonel, he said I had this suite in the hotel. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. And Herb Abrams paid for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, when UWF folded, Herb Abrams went back to a more mundane existence. But then one day, unfortunately, one of the guys said that it may have been the Colonel said that he saw in a hotel room 2 nightstands stacked high with cocaine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had a major cocaine problem. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was like Scarface, Al Pacino and Scarface. Yeah. I wonder if the Herbie cookie had a little cocaine in there. Had a little cocaine in it. Oh man.
So
yeah, I mean,
one day in 1996, or one night, they hear of Herb Abrams. He's been doing cocaine. Mm-hmm. He's chasing these hookers down the hall with a baseball bat, and he's naked. He's covered with Vaseline, and then his heart just gave out. He died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said there was like a lot of different stories with his death. They said that he was naked chasing the hookers with a baseball bat, that he was like actually covered in Vaseline. Mm-hmm. For somehow, some way he was covered in Vaseline. I mean, they told the different stories of his death, and then they said that they said that he died in the jail cell. And like you mentioned, he died outside of the hotel somewhere outside after he got done chasing the hookers. He died in the hotel. I mean, there was so many different stories of him dying. And they actually, I don't know why they did this, but they kind of ended on an Andy Kaufman like scenario where he faked his own death.
Yeah.
And they told this, and I think it was the Colonel, maybe, or maybe someone else. They told the story of this guy who was in Puerto Rico, and they used the same initials, the UWF initials. And the guy that looked like Herb Abrams came up to him and started cussing him out and said that he was going to sue him. But I don't think he faked his own death. I don't think this was an Andy Kaufman thing. I think he actually did die. And
speaking of Andy Kaufman, if there's a season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring, I'm sure there will be.
Oh yeah,
they should do an Andy Kaufman episode.
Oh my God, yes, they need to do one.
They should do an Andy Kaufman episode.
Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. They absolutely
have Lawler on there. Have Bob Zabuda.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to tweet that out to Dark Side of the Ring and the producers. Have an Andy Kaufman episode, because I've in the past I went on the YouTube and I looked up the Andy Kaufman. The promos that he did with them fat women, and said, and he like tackled him down and started wrestling him. I love the promos. I mean, he was a classic. He was a natural at this crap.
He was the intergender champion.
Oh my God. They some of the wrestling companies is doing intergender matches now. That would be a tremendous heel heat right there, is to bring back the intergender champion, Do that, people. But my God, like the promos that he did,
This is soap, not soap. Soap. This is soap.
Hollywood and backwoods, the women needs to be scrubbing the potatoes, make
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And as far as Andy Kaufman was concerned, the best place for a woman was barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen. It's like the women couldn't compete with him. Uh-oh, we lost Shane. He'll be back. But yeah, Kaufman episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I would love that. That'd be hilarious. Let's see, what else could they cover? They could cover Adrian Adonis, especially the way he died was in a car crash. Very unfortunate. They could cover that he was originally a tough guy, a biker type, and then he turns to this flamboyant character. I don't think Adrian Adonis was gay, but I think he sort of played it up. He played it up to where he acted like he was gay. Much like Goldust, Dustin Rhodes. Goldust did the same thing. I'm trying to think what else they should cover on Dark Side of the Ring. They've covered so many great topics so far. But yeah, I enjoy watching Dark Side of the Ring. Sometimes you learn things you didn't know about the wrestlers and about the personalities. It's amazing. Hopefully Shane will be back. We're still live. Okay, I just got a message from Shane trying to get back in. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, Dark Side of the Ring is a good show. I certainly enjoy it. And it gets good ratings for Vice, so good on them. It's one of their highest rated shows. And I've heard Jim Cornette, of course, he's been on several episodes. He's praised the show, and rightfully so.
Can you hear me?
There we are.
Oh, wait a minute. There we go. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right.
We were talking about Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. I got interrupted by internet issues. He would not get away with. He would not get away in today's society.
No. He was not politically correct.
Yeah.
That's one thing about Andy Kaufman. His style was not politically correct. Of course, it was all that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean,
still,
he never broke character, which it's just freaking hilarious.
yeah, he kept kayfabe. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially the whole David Letterman slap
Yeah,
with him and Lawler. That was just freaking tremendous.
yeah,
Every single person in America thought that was real. Real.
yes, they did.
But yeah, uh, tweet Dark Side of the Ring and say, hey, do an Andy Kaufman episode. Andy Kaufman episode. You know, get it out there for season 3.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, so going back to Herb Abrams, I mean, he seemed like a decent guy, and he just had that cocaine addiction that really set him back.
Hmm. It's unfortunate that he passed away,
Mhm. Yeah.
and that he never really achieved the success that I'm sure he wanted to be successful. We know that
Oh yeah.
he had big dreams.
Mhm. Yeah, but he was just too big for his cowboy boots.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, there was on that live televised special.
mhm.
He was proud as punch of those yellow ostrich skin boots.
Oh, yeah, Mick Foley told the story of that,
Yeah.
and he said that the people is going to go insane because of the boots. People's going to
Uh,
go insane because oh man, that damn. Hmm.
which had UWF printed on it.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It's a shame that that he it was just too. I think he may have had the opportunity if he had someone under him and controlling the finances, controlling the management,
Hmm.
going
I
on
agree.
to yeah. I mean, instead of him doing it himself, maybe bring in one of his friends, control finances, control management. Then they might have had an opportunity. They might have had a shot, but
Hmm.
it's just something so you think of it as so little, a cocaine, a cocaine habit. And it's like, man, if he didn't do the cocaine and the hookers are fine, if he wants to spend $2,000 on hookers, by all means, do it. It's your money. But the cocaine habit, man, it's just that's what hurt him. That's what got him.
Yep. Apparently,
And
Herb Abrams figured it out that cocaine is a hell of a drug.
yeah, and they showed clips of him, you know, uh, looking to be like high on cocaine, when he was in the ring and talking to the wrestlers and, doing his Mr. Herb Abrams character or whatever, Mr. Electricity character.
Hmm.
You could totally tell he was like hopped up on cocaine.
Yep.
And I'm surprised they didn't tell the story of, crap, what was the guy? It was him versus Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and he told Dr. Death to actually hurt him and break his nose because his wife was hitting on him.
Oh yeah, Steve Ray.
Steve
Yeah,
Ray,
the
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
yeah. I'm surprised they didn't share that story.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I know that was on the Wrestling with Regret video.
Yeah, and the thing is that Dr. Death told Steve Ray about it, and then they worked it and to make it look like he was actually hurting him,
Hmm.
which was hilarious. And the
Yeah.
thing is that Herb's wife actually came on to Steve Ray, and
Hmm.
Herb thought Steve Ray was messing around with his wife.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. That would have been an interesting little thing to add to the special.
Yeah, it would have. Let's see here. There was going to be one pay per view. It was going to be he's bringing back the UWF in '96, and the Valentine's Day Massacre, and not the same Valentine's Day Massacre with the WWF. This is the UWF, and it got canceled because of it just got canceled because let's see here. Probably, I think because of the money issue. That's what I'm reading right here. And it was supposed to be happening February 10th of '96, but it got canceled. And then later in the year of July of '96, that's when Herb Abrams died of the cocaine-related heart attack.
Yep. So I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few additional things from the Wrestling with Regret video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This coming up Tuesday
Road Warriors.
is the Road Warriors.
Yeah, Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom. Oh man, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder if Johnny Ace is going to be on there because that's his brother.
That's Animal's brother. Yeah.
Yeah, Animal's brother.
John Laurinaitis.
I kind of doubt it since he's with the WWE and he's an employee of WWE. So I kind of doubt that he's going to be on about it. I think it'd be great if he was, but probably with his contract, he's probably not allowed to, which is a shame.
And it's unfortunate, Hawk. That was somebody else who couldn't control his demons.
Yeah.
Mike Hegstrand.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be a good. I think that's going to be a good one. The final one will be with Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be a pretty tough one to watch.
Oh yeah, it's going to be up there with Chris Benoit.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
Because Owen died through really no fault of his own.
Oh yeah, it was a freak accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a freak accident.
It was. I remember I was at my brother-in-law's house visiting them that Sunday, and they hadn't ordered the pay-per-view or anything like that. But we're reading wrestling news online. All of a sudden, we see that Owen Hart had an accident. Was in an accident. Then we see later on he passed away. Like, oh man, what the heck happened?
Yeah. They actually I think when they was filming it, they actually filmed him falling, and WWE is never going to release that footage.
No,
they're never going to release that footage.
They're never going to release that. They have never released that pay-per-view on video cassette. They didn't release on video VHS or DVD.
Yeah, I think it's on the network, and I think some of it's been edited out. I could be wrong, but it was Over the Edge. Was it 99? 99. I was going to say 98. And I probably guarantee you that Jim Cornette's going to be on that one, talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna, like I say, that's going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to get his widow on there or not.
From what I think she is going to be on there. I could be wrong, but I think I've heard. Let me double check, because I think she's going to be on there for the first time out about it. Yep. Yep. According to the Sportster, Martha and his son has been interviewed for that episode.
Hmm. I wonder if on the Road Warrior one they're going to have Paul Ellering. I imagine they'll have Animal.
Oh yeah, Animal has to be on there. I hope
Yeah.
Paul Ellering has to be on there too.
Yeah, he was their manager.
Yeah. I wonder what was that dummy called that they had for a little bit?
Gosh, Rocco.
Right.
That was embarrassing.
Oh my god. I wonder what happened to that thing. I wonder who has that.
I don't know.
I hope Paul Ellering brings that thing out. He's got it in a truck somewhere and he just randomly brings it out of storage for the freaking episode. Oh my god.
The thing is, when the Road Warriors were in the WWF, I mean, they were doing pretty well without a manager for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Then Ellering came in, and then they decided to pair them with that ridiculous ventriloquist dummy, which they didn't need. But of course, it was classic WWF. Now they needed a gimmick.
Yeah. That was okay. That was their second run when Sonny was with them.
Yes, their second WWF run, LOD 2000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when Sonny was with him. And that's when they did that whole thing with him on top of the Titantron and he fell over with draws.
Yeah.
And they used that whole storyline with him being an alcoholic and everything.
Yeah. Well, WCW did a whole thing with Scott Hall and the alcoholic.
Oh, yeah, the last call of Scott Hall.
Last call of Scott Hall, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. We'll definitely get into that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, but Tuesday is the Road Warriors, and then the final episode is Owen Hart. And I think Owen Hart should be 2 hours. I mean, you probably could fit 2 hours, or maybe even an hour and almost an hour, hour and a half of Owen Hart stuff.
I agree.
Is Shit Stain going to make an appearance? In case you don't know, it's Vince Russo, and Corny always calls him Stain for the people that's watching. So because he was the one that told Owen Hart about the whole, going from the, coming down from the ceiling, and it was going to have a cable and all that. So I wonder if Vince Russo is going to make an appearance.
I don't know.
We'll probably get into this about the whole who do you blame for his death, and people's like they blame Russo for his death because he just had to do the whole propelling and coming in from the roof, but it's Owen. I think Owen did that before.
I think Owen may have practiced it.
Yeah. But wasn't there a few times that he did that coming from the roof, propelling from the roof?
Oh, that was the first time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was Vince Russo. I mean, it was just a freak accident that nobody could have predicted. And I think what happened was that the strap or the hook onto the strap malfunctioned.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sting was the one that came down from the rafters.
Yeah. And he never did that after Owen Hart died. He never did that again.
Actually, he did. He actually did eventually in 2000. Yeah.
Oh, really? Because I remember I thought he like stopped that for a while.
He did. He did stop doing it for a while.
I remember that. Yeah. Because I was when I was a kid, I was and still am a huge Sting fan. You know, I watched WCW. I thought Sting was so cool. I had a Sting shirt. I had a Sting action figure. Oh my God, I was high on Sting. I love Sting, and I still do. And I'm still holding it. I want to see Sting versus. I know they're up there in age, but I want to see Sting and Undertaker. And I think if they do it like they did with AJ Styles and The Undertaker and the Boneyard match at WrestleMania and have it as a cinematic match instead of an actual wrestling match, it could be, one of the greatest. It could be going through the roof. And I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Have you had the chance to check out that Boneyard match yet with AJ Styles and
No,
Undertaker?
I haven't had a chance to check those out.
You've got to check that out. You've got. I'm going to give you some homework next week. You have to watch it by next week so we can discuss about it. And
Okay.
the Firefly Funhouse too with Bray Wyatt and John Cena. Those are the two WrestleMania, and then I forgot tomorrow night is Money in the Bank, and they're doing the Money in the Bank with the men and women's going on at the same time. And then starting at the bottom of the WWE headquarters, going up to the roof where there's a actual ring on the roof to grab the briefcase for Money in the Bank. That is going to be insane.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
We usually talk about some people that passed away. Little Richard passed away this morning at 87. And you can't think of Little Richard without Wap Up Blue Mappa Wap Bamboo Tutti Frutti, aka Mean Gene Oakland and his team.
That's right.
So he has. Little Richard, he did the national anthem at WrestleMania, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so he got some wrestling connections. So it wasn't, odd that we brought up Little Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see which WrestleMania though. I don't think it was the first one, was it?
No.
I know it's one of the earlier ones.
It was.
Let's see here. Was it WrestleMania 10?
I believe so.
Let me see. Yes, WrestleMania 10.
That's where they were. They were at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Every 10 years, except for WrestleMania 30, they would hold it at Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. It was America the Beautiful, not the national.
Yeah,
anthem.
America the Beautiful. Right. Yeah, that's what it was.
Because I know Liberace was at like WrestleMania 2.
Who?
Liberace, you remember Liberace?
No, he was at first WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania, yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
I knew it was 1 or 2. I had a 50-50 shot. But yeah, he was Little Richard was 87, and had some of the he had some WWE WF star power. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
As the celebrity wing, and they
I
should do
agree.
that. They should do that next year. I mean, well, they can do it this year. I mean, it's not, they haven't had the Hall of Fame yet because of the whole coronavirus, and that kind of wrench in the whole works. And they're thinking about doing it during SummerSlam weekend for the Hall of Fame. I mean,
Yep.
they can insert Little Richard in there, or wait until next year and put Little Richard in there.
Yep.
But they didn't disclose the cause of death yet, so that might be, they might not know. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, and also one last thing. I told Henry, I think it was like a week ago, that Gus made an appearance on an AMC show called Creep Show.
Mm-hmm.
And then Judith from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I missed the ending for the first part with Gus and Tobin Bell. You may remember Tobin Bell from the guy from the Saw series, the Jigsaw series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on there. And the very first segment was directed by Greg Nicotero. And so we got Greg Nicotero directing Gus. Freaking universe.
Yeah.
And so basically, what's a creep show? You probably remember the 70s creep show?
The 80s.
80s, okay, yeah.
82.
Early 80s. Early 80s,
Oh,
yeah.
and Adrian Barbeau was also on that episode with Gus. She was in the movie Creep Show, 82.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so Creep Show was these comic books that like happened in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, and then the first Creep Show in 82 was directed by George A. Romero from Night of the Living Dead fame, and it was written by Stephen King. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan at the moment. But now they have a TV series.
It's actually, I think it's on Shudder.
Yeah, it's his own Shudder. AMC owns Shudder, by the way, so that's probably the reason why they're airing it. But yeah, it's a anthology series, and it's kind of like Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah,
because you see the Creep Show puppet in the beginning, and it reminds me of Tales from the Crypt, the Crypt Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love the Crypt Keeper, by the way. He is so freaking awesome. But there was two segments. One of it called Gray Matter, and then the House of the Head. Now, like I said, I didn't catch all of the first part of it, but I did see the second half with Judith and the dollhouse.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie, it was creepy. So basically, the whole premise is this girl. I'm gonna call her Judith because that's who she is. It's Judith from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
She's got this dollhouse. And in this dollhouse, there's this like severed head that like I think randomly shows up or randomly appears out of nowhere. And then it's terrorizing this family. So she goes back to the guy that sold her the dollhouse, and she gets a police officer, and then she gets this Native American figurine and puts it in the dollhouse to help the dolls in the dollhouse to get rid of the head. And this dollhouse is alive, by the way, because we see it move. We see the dolls move, and they're in these different poses and everything. So she takes the head that's in the dollhouse and tosses it out. And the creepiest part of it is when she goes under the bed, and the head was there. Like real full size head there. So she takes the head and pumps it back in the dollhouse, and she gets rid of the dollhouse. And it's someone else's problem now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Greg Nicotero,
Mhm.
there is a connection to Breaking Bad because he sort of designed the facial
Yes,
makeup. Gus.
yes, for Gus. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
When Gus got blown up, he did the makeup for that.
yeah, he
Oh man, I
did.
completely forgot about that. So yeah, he directed Gus twice. And he put the makeup on him, and he directed him in Creepshow. And I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing or not. If they,
It is actually
oh, it is. Okay,
10 Eastern on Monday nights.
okay, awesome. Because the next episode is there's two each, and the second one is also directed by Greg Nicotero.
Nice.
And
I
then
think
the
I think he's a producer on it too.
yeah, I think so too. And then the last episode, the first segment for the last episode, is directed by Tom Savini.
Ooh,
And Tom Savini, he's basically is like Greg Nicotero. I mean, he does all these horror props and heads and everything. I'm sure you know Bray Wyatt and the Fiend.
yeah.
He designed the mask for the Fiend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I did not know
yeah.
that.
Tom Savini designed the mask for Bray Wyatt's Fiend that he's using.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, it is a weekly thing. So that's gonna fill in some gaps for Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's gonna fill in some gaps. So yeah, on that note, I think we covered all the things that needed to be covered on Herb Abrams and the UWF, and plus a little bit more. So we'll see you here next week. Let's just do it on a Saturday because
Yeah, we'll
Friday
do it on Saturday.
because Friday I work until like 4 o'clock, and I come in. I'm so freaking tired. And I go down. I take a nap, and after I take a nap, it's like I don't want to do anything. So we'll do it on a Saturday, same time, same channel. It's going to be the Road Warriors, and then after that is the final episode of Owen Hart. So on that note, we'll see you here next week. Good night, everybody.